Hello, everybody, and welcome again to the Hey, Are You Still There podcast, coming in so early on a Thursday morning because I'm here with
Beth. Do you like that multiple syllables?
Well, I don't understand how you can wake up this early and be this excited already.
I know. I haven't even had any coffee. I've literally had nothing. But I have on, I don't know if the listeners can hear, but it's that time of year when I've started wearing my Christmas sweaters with my jingles on them.
The dogs are fighting because they're hearing you so excited.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's got them all riled
up.
And
the jingles, you've got them all.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. But, yeah, so
we're having to do this super early on Thursday morning because two events are happening today.
I have a packed day.
One event is I have to leave this morning and go to school with Maria. If y'all remember back when Maria first started college earlier this semester, I had to go in one day and she had to basically latex or plaster my entire head for a project. Well, today is the day where she has finished the project, and now I have to go in so she can apply it to my head and with makeup. And so that's going to eat up a chunk of my day. And
she practiced that like the other night.
It was miserable.
It was funny.
She kept saying, "Don't this feel good when people put makeup on you?" And I was like, "No, it does not feel
good." And I
was
just thinking about how I dodged the bullet because I had so many work meetings I couldn't go do it. And somebody dropped out at the last minute, so you volunteered to go do it. And I was like, that is truly no good deed goes unpunished.
This, like I said then, that should win me Dad of the Year.
Yeah, it may. We'll nominate you. Can't make guarantees.
Well, and then as soon as I'm done with that, I'm actually driving Maria to school because then after that, I have to drive her to the airport.
Yes.
Because why?
We are going on a trip for Christmas. This is Maria as
your favorite rocket ship?
Yes. Going, what is it, to the sky? Little Einsteins. Yeah. Anyway.
Going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship. Yeah.
Zooming through the sky? Little Einsteins. Anyway, we, Maria and I, as always, are doing a trip. Well, not as always, but I feel like now
Well, it's as always because it does come once a month.
Yeah,
and
no, so it doesn't. No, this is.
You've done 12 trips, one a month this whole year.
I have not. I will go back and look. No, I have not. Anyway, but this is her big Christmas present and everything. This is it. So we're going to.
And it's not your Christmas present?
Well, yes, mine to me too. Anyway, it's our Christmas present to each other. But I had to work really hard planning it and stuff because, as always, I have used points and put together the entire trip. And it's been, we're not doing guides or anything. I've tried to figure it out. So I'm hopeful it'll be good. But I'm not saying where or what we're doing yet in case it's a failure. So we'll see.
Well, and I feel like for Christmas, you and Maria are giving Josh and I a vacation.
Yes, that's part of our gift to you because you will get to be here next week without us.
Yes.
Yeah.
My vacation starts at 1:00 this afternoon.
Well, we don't leave till a little later, but yeah, you have to drop us off. So you get to be without us. And Josh's really starts as soon as I drop him off this morning because he'll be at school all day. And so one thing I'm pretty devastated about, though, is they are insisting that there's going to be snow tomorrow. And you know me, I love snow. And anytime there's a snow, you may not leave the house, but I am in the snow. I am out the door trying to build a snowman, sledding, doing all the things. I love to go for a walk in the snow. I just think it's so peaceful and the world shuts down and it's beautiful. So anyway, I am pretty bummed that it could potentially snow here tomorrow. And this is just unseasonably early if it does. But anyway, so that could happen. Other thing, we have a small group that meets. And last night we had our Christmas celebration. It was our last get together before the next year. And I thought it was just so fun. It was just really, things have been stressful, and things at work and stuff. And I just felt like it was so life-giving and fun to have that. Mike got some really cool gifts.
Contribute to that?
Well, you got a really cool gift, so that was one thing. Just excellent.
I didn't know if the margaritas helped.
One of the members made homemade. So this is not fresh, squeezing the limes and stuff, margaritas. And the food was good and everybody was just in a good mood. it was just really.
Well, then you should comment to the group on the chat and tell them all that.
I will. I'll tell them it meant a lot to me.
There you
yes,
go.
I will, because it was good. So it put me in the mood, because I was so kind of bummed the other day. I'd just been struggling. And I was like, I'm not even wearing a Christmas sweater. On Monday, I had like a bunch of bad stuff. And I went into work. And usually when I go in person, I wear a Christmas sweater. And I was like, I am just so bummed right now. I can't even do that. So all I did was wear a green shirt and Christmas earrings. That is so toned down from what I normally
who
do.
knew all it took was a gift-giving game and margaritas. And that would put you right back into Christmas
to where
mood.
I need to be. Yeah,
right,
it was just like a dirty Santa. That was all it was.
Okay, well, I was going to bring that up.
Yeah.
There was some debate over the name.
Yes, everybody calls it different stuff.
We call it, I say I feel like it's a Southern thing. We call it Dirty Santa.
Yeah.
Folks from the Midwest, it seems like,
are they white elephant?
White elephant.
Okay, they're white elephant. Okay.
And at some portion of the country, they call it Yankee Swap.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
It's up northeast. I don't know. I had never heard of Yankee Swap until The Office, if you remember that Christmas episode where Michael and iPod Shuffle, and he brought
you brought the iPod Shuffle, and I brought the teapot with notes about
No,
things.
you're not that romantic. It would be the other way around.
I would bring that.
But that was the first time I'd ever heard of your Yankee Swap. So we debated that last night. Not like, and it was just like, where did these names come from? So that might be the poll question this week is,
what do you call it?
Do you call it Dirty Santa, White Elephant, Yankee Swap, or something else? And this is the game where everybody has their gift in the middle and people draw numbers. You draw, then when it's your turn, you have a choice to either take a gift from the middle, which will effectively end your turn, and you unwrap it. Somebody last night tried to not unwrap it.
Yeah, and we went
I'm like, who does that? And so, but you take the gift, you unwrap it, and that's yours. Or you can steal from someone else. And
there's so many different rules on that, rules. Like how many times you can steal and before an item's retired.
And I know people were giving me grief last night. I went to there is an official White Elephant game website.
Oh, because there should be an official site for everything.
And I went there and got those. So the way we played it last night is the official rules of White Elephant.
And I liked it because in the past, like at youth group, we've played where an item's retired after 3 times, like the whole night. That only gives 3 people the chance to swap. You did 3 times per round. So like if I'm number 1.
And a round is until somebody takes a new gift.
Right. So if I took number 1, then a gift can be swapped 3 times before it's retired. And then number 2, if then they either have to go for other gifts or number 2 takes a gift. But then that other item could be swapped again, which makes it so much more interesting. One thing that was super funny too is how some of the gifts reflected the personalities of the giver. Some people just pick things, but one of the first gifts was when they opened it, 3 things of hand sanitizer, gloves, and masks. And there was also a bonus in there. There was a Chick-fil-A card. But it was funny because Ross, who doesn't like germs, brought that one. So it was just so funny that he brought it. But then Katie, who's a teacher, was like, I want that hand sanitizer for my classroom. And I wanted the Chick-fil-A cards, but I also wanted the gloves because there have been a lot of times around the house when I'm like, I need to do something. And I'm like, it would be really nice if I had gloves and I don't have any. So it was just funny, like just seeing the things that random things people had, or like there was a blanket that had a foot holder for 2, a romantic blanket.
I don't know if it was romantic. It was more of a family blanket.
A family blanket,
It was gigantic.
It was so massive. So, and games
8 feet
stuff.
wide by 10 feet long.
Do you want to talk about your gift you got?
I'll put up pictures.
Yeah. Let's just.
Words can't do it justice.
Mike got something special. Yeah. He got a really special gift. Yeah. And no one stole it from you. So anyway, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. So we had a great time last night. That was a lot of fun. And it was a really, really good night.
Well, really quick, too, before we get into our other stuff, did you want to say anything about poll questions from last week?
Yeah, I actually have that pulled up right now. So the question the debate that we got into last week was the great toilet paper debate of 2025. Which way does the toilet paper roll go? Does it go over or under, or in Beth's case, she doesn't even pay attention. She just puts it on. And so we got into this discussion last week, debate, as I decided to throw it up. And it became literally our most voted on poll question.
Our most popular poll of all time.
After over a year and 67, 68 episodes however been of, hey, are you still there? Our most popular poll question. So I'm going to give you the results right now. So I gave them 3 choices. The question is, the statement was, do you replace your toilet paper over the top, under the bottom, or does it even matter? Coming in dead last at under the bottom is 6%. And I have a feeling 1 or 2 of those people just put that just to be, well, at least one person. Well, I don't know. Looking at this, I don't know. One of them's James Mitchell.
Oh, so you can't trust anything that
I feel like he would say that just to stir the pot. So it might even be less than 6%,
right?
Maybe 5%. But anyhow, 6% of the people said under the bottom. The next, I guess, coming in second was, does it even matter?
Yes, preach it, people. I mean, why get upset about things like that in life?
Yeah, at a whopping 12%.
Well, I'm just saying.
12% of the people said, does it even matter?
So
that means over the top, 82%.
All of you type A personalities, which I find ironic for me to say, because in some ways I am such a type A. So anyway, I just think that it's so interesting, though, that I just don't feel like this is something to lose sleep over or care about.
And the people who do over the top, they care.
Oh, yeah, they are militant about it.
Here's some of the comments. If you do anything other than over the top, you're a heathen.
That would be me. Only sometimes, though, because sometimes it's over the top.
Over the top is uncivilized, savage, and barbaric.
I guess that would be me, too. I'm barbaric.
Well, you don't care, so you just throw it up there.
Well, yeah, because I'm a barbarian.
Yeah, so sometimes you get it right.
Yeah, maybe even half the time.
Not half.
Anyway.
Somebody else said, everyone knows that it's over the top.
Do they? Anyway.
Yeah, somebody else said, just put it back the way you find it.
Well, what do you do when you find it empty because somebody refuses to do it because you're the only person in the house that can do it?
I think there's still enough toilet paper barely hanging on. You can tell.
Oh, there was not. There was not. Anyway.
So those were a couple. I think I have a few more that was on the "Hey, Are You Still There" page, but some other quotes that I liked. There was more, but. Somebody said, would I be considered a bad person if I turn it the other way at someone's house, knowing it would drive them crazy, asking for a friend?
That's like when people used to mess with your magnets on the fridge and just to mess with you. So somebody is kind of like, is that a psychopath or sociopath?
Somebody else commented, as it was intended, and they posted a picture of what I always refer to, the original patent.
I know.
That shows it going over. And then somebody said, yes, look at the diagram on the patent. Somebody else tried to blame it on pets and was like, over unless you have indoor pets that mess with it.
Oh, like do their little feed or something, I guess, like your cat or something. But I feel like they would mess with it either way. I think they could mess with it going under or over.
It's over. Yeah, I mean, I guess that it's just spins.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand that one. Someone else put a picture of theirs, and theirs is sideways.
That would solve a lot of problems. Maybe I'm going to do that. We need to reinstall.
Because you can still put it on to where it comes off the left or the right.
Right, but who cares with that? Why would that matter? That's not an over-under. That's left or right.
It's still over or under.
How? It's left or right.
But you have to turn your body, and the paper's either going to be coming at you from the top.
Is that over?
Yeah. Or it's going to be coming behind you, which would be the bottom.
Okay, see, this is you. That's ridiculous, though, because it can't be over under if it's right left. I just
we had somebody at small group say they just set it on the ground. They just pick it up.
Oh my gosh, that's
now
that's barbaric. Yeah.
To be fair, he doesn't have a wife right now.
He doesn't have anybody.
He has a long-term serious girlfriend, but
no
he's
one
not
can
married.
really fuss at him yet. Yeah, about it. Be
so
like, put it on the roll.
But the craziest comment came from your mother. She said it all depends on where the toilet paper holder is located. In one bathroom, I put it on the under and the other over. Ross and I debated this for a whole day.
I know. And I heard y'all. I was downstairs. I heard y'all talking about
unless
it.
Your other toilet is on the ceiling.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. Like, why would one bathroom be different? And then she described her other bathroom.
Because you called her.
I called her.
This caused so much whatever with y'all that y'all needed to call her. Yes. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. So I called her and I said, you've got to explain yourself. This doesn't make any sense at all. And so then she told me, which, we've been married 27 and a half years. I mean, going over to this house for close to 30. I've obviously never gone number 2 at your parents' house because I've never touched the toilet paper. But in one of their bathrooms, the roll is behind you, like on the wall behind you.
Because of the way the bathroom's laid out in the cabinet and the stuff, like the shower or whatever.
Weird.
Yeah.
So I was like, what? Like, who does that?
Yeah.
And she was like, well, and so, but even then, but then she finally broke down and said, it really is just my preference. Yeah. I'm like, then that's fine. Like, if you're like, that's my preference.
Yeah. She likes to change it up.
Your preference is wrong.
Oh, okay.
But,
yeah.
But I'm just saying.
But I was just, when I heard you and Ross still debating it, and I was like, this has gotten out of hand. When y'all are calling my mom and you've patched Ross through on like a conference call.
We did.
So y'all
had to get to the bottom of things.
Yes.
That's the way Ross and I work.
Yeah.
When there's a great injustice in the world, we have to get to the bottom.
Yeah, you two are there. You're really changing the world one
We're
phone
like
call
Sherlock
at a time.
Holmes and Doc Watson.
That is exactly what you're doing. Yeah, that's it. That's y'all.
That's us.
Yes.
We're breaking mysteries.
Yeah.
We're not afraid to approach people and ask them.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Another thing I want to talk to you about, and this will be a big surprise for you, is a few weeks ago you mentioned that you had taken the Clifton
Strength Finder. Clifton Strength Finder.
Which I had never heard of until you started talking about it. Even before that, I've done Myers-Briggs. I've done the Enneagram. I've never done Clifton.
Right.
And you spoke about that almost as a side, as you were talking about just people you work with, not you personally, but people in the workplace, people in the workplace, people that you work with in the workplace, whoever you are. Then where it could be fellow teachers, it could be fellow medical people, it could be assembly line workers. It doesn't matter. Target, whatever people you work with.
Right.
You were talking about the different types of people and how that affects like a working environment. And
like your strengths and weaknesses and stuff. Yeah.
I think you went over. Did you go over some of yours?
I think I did high level because I talked about like playing to your strengths and how like the different things people are good at and things.
So, we had a friend, Kip, who reached out afterwards and was like, what was the name of that test again? That was fascinating. And so I gave him the name. I don't know if he ever did anything with it.
But he's definitely our listener. He likes some people, like I guess my friend Marissa, she enjoys a good conspiracy theory podcast. But Kip, he likes our deep, heady, meaty stuff. He likes it when we're intellectual, when we go deep.
He kind of slammed me.
He did. I liked it.
It was
Go,
the episode where I talked about the Osama Son concert.
Yes.
So the first half of the podcast was me detailing his story about going to Osama Son and the hijinks that ensued.
Yeah.
And then the last half was you talking about coworkers.
Yeah.
People's coworkers.
Because it kind of went into like just how you manage people, allowing toxic work environments, narcissism in the workplace, play into how most workplaces just put holes in square pegs in round holes, but like instead of playing to strengths.
So Kip messages me and says, man, that second half of the podcast was great. And I wanted to be like, well, what about the first half? He didn't even mention that. And then he was like, what's the name of that test Beth was talking about? And so, I can't believe I'm even mentioning his name because
it just makes me so happy. That made me say, hey, we need to have dinner with Kip again sometime. We need to see him.
No, you can go without me. Because I'll just bring a boring conversation. He'll go home and be like, man, half that dinner was really good.
No, it's not that you would be boring, honey. It would just be beneath him. He's intellectual, you know? That's what it is. Yeah, that's it.
Intellectual.
Yeah.
He is a deep thinker.
Yeah.
But, so anyway, this Clifton thing. So I looked it up online. I was hoping I could find like a free version, but they didn't have a free version. It's done by actually Gallup, who I guess does the Gallup polls.
And they do so much.
They do a lot besides just the presidential polls.
You can read all sorts of things from Gallup. Yeah, not just president, but like in the workplace. They have a whole thing about like, like employee morale or what employees are thinking or I subscribe to their newsletter. So much information.
Well, the Clifton has identified 34, traits.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it is how you relate to people, how you lead, workplace type stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's kind of all about.
Yes.
And so I looked it up. It's to do the full test. It's like $70, maybe something like that. Now they have a lesser one that for $25 you can just get your top 5. Like they don't even mess around with the other 29. You can obviously pay later and find out what the other 29 were and how they all work together. But it's the $25 one is like, hey, this just tells you kind of your top 5. So I didn't tell you I was going to do that. I just went ahead and did it, and I took the test. And so I just thought you can recap very briefly kind of what your top 5 were, and then I'll reveal my top 5 because I'm not sure we have any that overlap. Maybe they do.
That is so cool, though, that you did it and that you liked it. And you were so inspired by my deep thoughts with Beth, deep ponderings with Beth.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. Okay, so
what's your number 5?
Do you want me to start with number 5? Okay, includer. Okay. And these are also, I think you and I talked about super high level, but they're out of those 34 categories, there are different strengths. There's strategic thinking,
which I have none of.
None
of that showed up in my top 5.
I will say I'm happy because I think I have each one in my top 5, or maybe it was my top 10 at least. But no, I have 3 in my top 5. But anyway, strategic thinking is about helping you absorb and analyze information that informs better decisions. Relationship building, themes that help you build strong relationships and hold a team together. Influencing, things that help you take charge, speak up, make sure others are heard. And then executing, themes help you make things happen. So you're going out there to execute a plan. So my number 5 was includer. So as you can imagine, that is a relationship building one. And that one is about...
does it just read the... Oh, you don't have it?
Well, do you want me to pull it? Yeah, I can.
Very simple, because they have like a 1-sentence definition under each of these.
Yeah, I gotta. I think I still have. I pulled up the includer though. With them, they're the people. Like I remember even when I was a kid, how I wanted to make sure nobody felt left out. Okay,
there were several questions I asked. How do you feel about the way it is? It's it'll give you 2 statements.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like a spectrum. And on each side of the spectrum, under each statement, it's strongly believe, and then, or absolutely believe. And then it's like the next one over is like strongly believe. And then in the middle is neutral.
Yeah.
So you have 5 choices, 2 statements on either side. And it's almost like a seesaw. Like which one are you going to put your little mark at? Mm-hmm. And some of the statements I felt like aligned really well. Like, okay, I can see each side. It seems like it's either or.
Yeah.
Some of them felt like both and. I'm like, these,
it's really hard.
I don't know how these are even connected.
Yeah.
You know? And so it would have a statement like, you feel bad when people are left out. And so the opposite, like this, it wouldn't necessarily have the opposite.
It wouldn't be like you feel great when people are included or something.
Right. It just said, it would say something like, you feel bad when people are left out, might be on one end. And the other end might say, you enjoy just hanging out with a close group of friends.
Right. Yeah.
Insinuating that if you see somebody left out, you're not going to necessarily invite them in, not because you don't feel bad, but you just like that small group of 2 or 3 friends you're hanging out with, and you don't want to bring in another person just to make you feel better about them feeling better.
Right. Yeah. And so like for mine with includer, I can go back to, though, I remember even in elementary school and stuff, I was the kid that would be the person that would be like, I want to make sure everybody feels like they're included. So includer, how you can thrive, you accept others. You show awareness of those who feel left out and make an effort to include them. So it's literally what you would think. It's like you're sitting around, you see somebody that's left out, and you're the person that's going to go up and say, hey, come sit with us at the lunch table. You're not going to be like with Forrest Gump where you're like seats taken, you know? Number 4 was positivity. Sorry, my phone keeps like messing up as I'm trying to make it big. Positivity. You have contagious enthusiasm. You are upbeat and can get others excited about what they are going to do. And I just wanted to note, though, that doesn't mean it's not like a blind optimism, because it's more like you repeatedly go out of your way to support and motivate other people. You feel better about life if you are helping other people, and but it's also about you enjoy doing things no one else has ever considered. It's about believing in sort of the future is kind of a way the positivity is. And that was also a relationship building. My number 3 is not only in the strategic category, it is strategic thinking. That's my number 3. You create alternative ways to proceed. Faced with any given scenario, you can quickly spot relevant patterns and issues. And that's where, I have innovative ideas, unique perspectives. It's just kind of, I think, seeing things in a different way and being able to see those patterns and be strategic. So that was the other category. And then my last 2 are in that influencing category. The color is yellow. What I attended said.
So what did you not have, a blue or a purple?
I didn't have the executing.
I don't know what that means. Is that blue or purple?
I think that's purple because, so I didn't have. I'll look again and confirm that in a second, but I'm pretty sure that's the one. But they said that the yellow ones, like I have, are actually some of the least common in the workforce or in like certain leadership areas. So they're things to cultivate. But my number 2 is communicating. You generally find it easy to put your thoughts into words. You're a good conversationalist and presenter. So it's about people. You've got an knack to talk to others. You encourage people to share their stories. You affirm people. You gravitate to situations where you can be your true self. That's the other thing that's interesting about these, because you'd look at communicator and you'd be like, oh, well, that just means you're a good speaker. But it's when you read in depth about them, it's more than that. It's more comprehensive. And then my number 1 is the one that I remember when I saw it, and I was like, what the heck is that? I was just like, who has this? One thing I will say, I report to 2 different people at work, and
well, they do call you the Ric Flair of the workplace.
They do. Yeah, that's me. Woo! Anyway.
Because what is it? What's it called?
It's called Woo.
Well, there we go.
Woo. It is called Woo. And one thing that's interesting, my boss in my associate dean role, her top one is Woo and her second one is communicating. And I think it's pretty rare for people. Almost nobody has the exact same top 5 in the same order. You might have the same top 5, but not in the same order. But Woo, you love the challenge of meeting new people and winning them over. You derive satisfaction from breaking the ice and, oh, wait a minute, it just went away. Sorry, I shouldn't have done this on my phone. I didn't know we were doing this, though. You surprised me. Of breaking the ice and making a connection with someone. And that's about being talkative and friendly with newcomers, loving to pull outsiders and strangers into group discussions, and that you spend a lot of mental, physical, and other energy, trying to win over people that you meet.
Well, but you also come home and you're like, to be the woman, you got to beat the woman.
I do not say that.
Yeah, with the woo.
No, I do not do. Anyway.
And you have a lot of flamboyant gowns you wear around the house.
With woo, that's right, just like Ric Flair.
Yeah.
One thing, I'll come back to that really quick in a second on Ric Flair. But anyway, and you really enjoy starting conversations with new people, but it's because instinctively, it says like you like to capture other people's attention, but you are genuinely interested in meeting new people and in their stories. And I think that is true. And so I felt like a lot of that resonated with me. So number 1 was woo, number 2, communication, 3, strategic, 4, positivity, and 5, includer. The one that I did not have, to your point, that is purple. That is executing. I did have that in my top. Actually, my number 6 was executing, which I know you do top 5. But so it's interesting because I was pretty balanced in that. But my number 6 was achieving, which is an interesting thing.
We're not going any more 6. We're top 5. We're going short on time because you're leaving.
I know, but super quick, the Ric Flair, it's funny that you're saying I'm Ric Flair because one year, I don't know how we had it, but we had this pink bathrobe with like a white boa around it. And I got a wig and I dressed up as Ric Flair for Halloween. So it's just kind of funny that the woo was in me then. The woo was in me so early.
The wooing.
Yes. Okay. So tell me what you are. You're obviously not strategic.
None of your top 5 are in my top 5. I'll say that.
None of them?
None of them.
Which kind of goes along with like at Myers-Briggs, I'm an ENFP and you're an ISTJ. We are the exact opposite on every letter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you? Let's hear it.
Drum roll. INTJ is what I am.
No, you're an nope. You're an S. N's are intuitive.
Yeah.
No, S is sensing. We'll go back and look. I know what I am. All right. But anyway, yeah.
Whatever. All right. So I had no greens, which was the what was it?
Wait, you don't have any strategic.
Strategic.
Yeah.
Just the greens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So number 5. Individualization.
Oh, you got to be your own person.
You're intrigued. No, you are intrigued with each person's unique qualities. You have a gift for figuring out how people can work together productively.
Oh, that's a good, and that kind of goes along with the whole philosophy of read the read. Like if you're passionate about something, hey person, we're not going to start a ministry, but if you're passionate about it, I'm going to help you find your gift. The hardest part of Read 3 is we tend to attract a lot of type A personalities and leaders. And my biggest role is how do I get them to play in the same sandbox together? And so I enjoy that. And so that came up as number 5. Because you're finding their unique strengths and you're like, okay, this is where you put your effort.
Yep. Number 4, activator.
That's interesting.
You can make things happen by turning thoughts into action. You want to do things now rather than simply talk about them.
Is that one of the executing? That sounds like it would be.
It's,
what color is
it? Orange.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. And again, that's me. When I read that, I was like, yeah, let's.
Your person gets things done. You have an idea and you
talking about it. Let's
make it happen. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And number 3, another one in the executing, self-assurance. You feel confident in your ability to take risk and manage your own life. Your inner compass gives you certainty in your decisions.
No, I like that too. Yeah, and you are.
And that's me.
Right. And you've always had like discernment and confidence and yeah.
I may not make the right decision, but I'll be confident in that decision.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And, we'll go for it. Number 2, belief.
Just believe, Mike.
Yep.
Just believe.
Now it says you have certain unchanging core values, and out of these values emerges a defined purpose for your life.
Interesting. I see that too, though. I feel like you're very strong in like your beliefs.
So I'm reading this and I'm like, all right, so Beth's not an individual. She doesn't activate anything. She has no self-assurance. And she just doesn't believe in anything.
As an aside,
because you're none of these.
You're doing the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do. It doesn't mean you don't have those things. And we're not going to focus on things. They don't even call them weaknesses. They call them like, what was it? Navigate or something like work on it. You're doing what everybody does. Like, hey, let's go to what you're lacking. The whole point of this is to, why might you and I work well together? Well, I'm over here wooing people.
Yeah. A lot of help that does.
I'm wooing people in so that then you can help them, you can activate them after you've found their uniqueness or whatever that word was you had.
I may not want to,
based
on number one. Number one is relator.
Oh.
That is my number one strength on this Clifton.
Okay. That sounds interesting. And
it says, you enjoy close relationships with others. You find deep satisfaction in working hard with friends to achieve a goal. So.
I could definitely see that in you. I mean, I do think, and I think it's interesting because I think it kind of goes back to you in this, like, not that it's about being an introvert, but we've talked about before, like, really large groups for long periods of time, being around a lot of people, all that exhausts you. You can do it, but it's not like as natural. And I think you are more drawn towards having a few close people.
You give me a few like-minded people.
Yeah.
That I love and respect. And we will go do some stuff.
Yeah.
And I was thinking back through that. If you go back and look through my ministry, we'll just say the short term, the last 29 years. You know, you think about the youth group when I was a youth pastor. What did I do? I formed a group of adults that I was close friends with.
Right.
And you think about Kip.
Yeah.
Jeremy, Aaron.
Yeah.
Bob.
Who then went to help us start our first
then left after I left and came and helped plant a church again.
That same small group.
Hardworking friends, you're together, you're tight, you want to achieve a goal. And the times in my ministry where I have felt lost, I'll say, is when I didn't have that.
Right.
When I didn't have a goal, you know, like it's
to work towards.
To
you
work
got your
toward,
thing.
and I didn't have that band of brothers to still align from my
and
friend
sisters.
And sisters, but you know, like you know, like that HBO show.
Yes,
you gotta have your band of brothers.
Yeah.
But I don't have that small group of people working toward a common goal. I think that's when I feel lost and ready
even
to do something else.
And it's interesting because then during one of those periods of lostness, when even before we had Re3, we had dreamed of like, the missions and stuff like that. And that was when you pulled in Tim and Jess and me and you and Kel. Yeah, I mean, it was like, so we had that group. So your group has also been fluid and changed with different people who also probably bring different strengths and different things. But it's interesting too, because the groups that you've had have also reflected sort of what you were doing, you know, not that the others weren't, but like, you know, Tim and Jess and Kel and all of us were super missions focused, you know, at that time when you pulled that group together and stuff and had them as your core. Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah. And now the team you have put together at Re3.
Yeah. I mean, I love all of them. I think we have a great team and we get a lot done.
And you've done a good job too, but I think you're also successful at that
because I created a staff that now
is your team.
My close friends.
Right.
You know, and we work well together and
but you've also helped identify, you've helped them identify, you've seen things in them that they can do, you know, and are good at. And, you know, sometimes push them to be stretched or whatever, but you've really, like, in that part, leveraged their strengths, which is kind of what I was talking about in that other podcast. You're really doing now what good organizations and leadership should look like. You're taking people's and putting them in roles that match their strengths. You're not trying to put someone who's a creative artist in an administrative role and telling them, you know, go, you know, punch numbers into a computer. You know, you're really matching people up with what they do well.
Yeah.
And I think it's really successful because of that.
So there you go. That's my top 5 of the Clifton. So
I like it.
If anybody else has ever taken the Clifton or wants to take the Clifton, you can do that. Post it on our Facebook page. Let us know. What are yours? Top 5.
And there's a book and there's so much information. I haven't even scratched the surface. I think there are Facebook groups you can join with people who have your same strength. Like, it's kind of like once you get into it, you know how the Myers-Briggs or even the Enneagram, you know, none of these are like, of course, foolproof. It doesn't define exactly who you are. But I do think in the process of doing it, it makes you more introspective because you start to think about, does this reflect who I am? Because how does it align with what I believe? And I think it makes you think about things instead of being I think the thing about this test that's so interesting is a lot of these things that when you read it, you probably wouldn't have known that was a strength that somebody had a name associated with. Oh, this is a strength that 1 in 34 people in the population will exhibit. We just think about these as, oh, these are things that are easy for me. Or sometimes the things come so naturally for you, you wouldn't say, it's a strength.
Yeah. And when it gives you the printout, I mean, I've just barely scratched the surface, but when it gives you, I say printout, the digital printout, you can go in and look, it'll tell you, based on what you have, here's how your relator and belief work together.
Yeah.
Here's how your self-assurance and individualization work together. It breaks it down so much. And I've not even had a chance to read all that yet, but it goes in great detail explaining and breaking down.
And it's really focused on leadership. So it's really focused, for me, it's your default is going to be to lead through influencing. Some people may be, I don't know exactly what it looks like when you do it, but I am going to be out there I'm going to be passionate about this. I'm going to motivate you. I'm going to influence you. I'm going to make you so excited about what we're doing that you're going to want to do it with me. Other leaders are going to lead through, you, building strong relationships with people who have the strengths that you need. And you are going to lead somehow through that relational aspect. And of course, it'll be different for all of us. But I think that's the other thing that's so good about it. It helps you think about things wait a minute. Just because this is easy for me doesn't mean that it's easy for the rest of the population. Woo sounds silly, but I mean, it made me think about this is a strength and not everybody else would have that same strength. So just because that comes easily to me doesn't mean it comes easily to other people. But also focus was one of mine that was at the bottom. I probably need to surround myself with some people that've got some focus higher up, in their number, because that's going to be a place for me that I need somebody to kind of balance me out.
Right. And I may eventually pay for the rest of it. I'm just a type 1, so I'm only one to get the top. But it would be interesting to see what the bottom is, so then you can figure out how do you surround yourself with people whose strengths are your weaknesses, because that's when everybody's better. I believe rising tide lifts all ships.
Yep.
So if you can strengthen others, it's just going to lift everyone else up.
And I think the real strength in this is what my work is doing in the Office of Faculty Affairs. Oh, by the way, I found a sheet that was attached to an email that had all the strengths. If I'd have only found it sooner, that I could read it easier. But they are using it by having everybody in that department do it. And then they've done printouts and things that show what are the strongest strengths that, in people's top 5s. And so that's where I think you could really leverage it too. At the church or in your job, if you get your team to do it and you're look, we are a team full of influencers, or we're a team full of strategic thinkers, then how do you balance out your team? How do you look for people with other skills? Or knowing that, then how do you work towards, how do you use those strengths? I think it could really help people. But like many things, this takes time and effort, and a place has to be invested in doing that to make it work. Yeah.
Well, good talk, Beth.
It was a good talk. I'm so excited you did that, and I'm glad we could do something deep and intellectual for Kip.
And this is hard for me this early in the morning. You know that.
Yeah.
Usually I have to have a warm drink with a little bit of caffeine. I have to play my New York Times games, get my brain working, and you just kicked me out of bed and said, let's go do this right this second.
Well, my favorite is if I ever join you at Panera, which I don't do that much, but sometimes you'll be there and I'll pop in the booth and I'll be like, Mike, we need to pay this bill and we need to do this with the kids and then we need to get that and then we need to do that. And you're like, no, I have not, you're ruining my, you tell me I'm ruining your routine. I'm coming in there like a hurricane. And you're like, I am sipping my tea, and then I will complete connections. And after I've done connections in the mini crossword, I can talk to you. But you're like, don't try to come at me with these questions before that.
I mean, you're a car with a push button start. It cranks and you go.
Yes, and I go.
You go. You're like the Tesla.
I did. I mean, literally, I just rolled out of bed this morning and walked in here.
I'm the 74 Ford, whatever, that you gotta, it takes a little while to get it cranked.
Yeah,
and then you gotta let it warm up a little bit.
With it.
And then,
then
it's dependable.
Yeah.
It'll get you
You're
where you
reliable.
need to go.
Yeah.
But you gotta let me warm up.
Yeah.
So you're welcome.
Yeah.
The sacrifice for your trip.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, hey, everybody, have a great week. And since Beth will not be around next week, I'll be doing another solo podcast.
Oh, gosh.
And because there has been such a demand, I am coming back with the conspiracy podcast. I talked about it on our last episode. I talked about the 6 that I'm going to cover. And so I'll be covering those next week on the podcast.
And I do have to say, last night you got a lot of grief from people on the flat earth, but you just kept saying, I'm not saying that it's true. I'm saying, I guess there's a chance. You know, you're kind of like in, what is it, Dumb and Dumber? Yeah. You know, when she was like, no, I will never go out with you. There's like a 1 in a 1 million chance.
Well,
and he's like,
people are,
so you're saying
like,
there's a chance?
There is no chance. I'm like, how do you know that? Have you been to outer space? Like, have you
personally been in the space shuttle?
All you're doing is taking someone else's word.
Yeah.
Well, where has that gotten us in life? You know? These are the same people.
Wait a minute. Where's that on your strengths? Like, I am a questioner. I'm going to doubt things. I'm going to be the one. Is that individual? Isn't it that one of them? I swear, I think that's one of the things. There's something that is a personality. That's one of the, that's a characteristic.
Yeah, there was something that I saw, and I'm like, okay, this is, let's see, on my...
Yeah, because I feel like...
I don't know, somewhere in there I thought that kind of fit, but there was some that, I mean, it's just, why are we going to take a few, in the whole scheme of how many billions of people live on this earth, why are we going to take just a select few and believe what they have to say? I'm just saying there's a 1% chance.
My favorite, and then I know I have to go, but was when JD said, Beth, I am with you on the aliens. I'm sure there's some cellular organism out there that's alive. And he was like me. Aliens does not have to mean Marvin the Martian or E.T. or Alf. Aliens could be cellular life forms or forms in other. So I was like, yes, thank you, JD. Yeah. So, and we had another idea for my Big 12. I may do a police ride along.
That has to be 2027.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to put it out there for later. But anyway.
All right. Well, we're going to let Beth go so she can get her kid to school and then she can get ready for her big trip.
Yes.
And I can get ready for my
big time alone after
day.
Your makeup. You can and you can get ready to really chill out and enjoy your time.
That's right.
Yep.
All right. So this is Mike.
And Beth.
And this has been Hey, Are You Still There?